Ananobi facing Victor. No.
There's a moment in almost every Spurs game now where you can feel the air change. A guard beats his man, glides to the rim, and for a split second it looks like an easy 2. Then Victor Wembanyama appears from outside the camera frame, erases the layup like it never existed, snatches the ball, and is already pushing in transition. 3 strides later, that same possession ends with a corner 3 for a teammate, created by a 7'4" alien leading the break like a point guard. Victor Wembanyama might just be the most terrifying player on the court not just right now, but in history. Teams thought they were ready for taller, longer, more skilled bigs. What they weren't ready for was someone this tall who can be your primary ball handler, your shot creator, and your last line of defense all in the same possession. In this video, we're breaking down why no one in the NBA is more terrifying to face than Victor Wembanyama when he steps on the floor. We'll look at his body and growth, how a 7'4" frame with guard-level mobility is still evolving in real time. Then we'll dig into his game and role, how he's already escaped the center label and turned himself into a brand new archetype. A 7'4" offensive engine and defensive nightmare wrapped into one impossible matchup. At 7'4" barefoot and roughly 7'5" in shoes, listed around 240 pounds and still filling out, he has the dimensions of a classic giant, but the coordination and fluidity of a perimeter player. He can slide with guards on the perimeter, Euro step in transition, and rise into step-back jumpers that look like they were animated for a much smaller body. On paper, that mix of size and skill sounds impossible. On the court, it's already normal for him. The numbers from his first 100 games make that clear. In that stretch, Wemby piled up over 2,270 points, 1,050 rebounds, 360 blocks, and more than 220 made threes, giving him more points than LeBron and Kevin Durant, more threes than Steph Curry, and more blocks than Shaq, Dikembe Mutombo, and Hakeem Olajuwon at the same point in their careers. He didn't just dabble in every category. He dominated all of them at once. He became the first player ever to hit 75 threes, 150 assists, and 150 blocks in a single season. And he did it in just 48 games. He also led the league in total blocks with 176 while playing only 46 games, winning the blocks title in basically half a season. If you tried to build a creative player that scores like a wing, shoots like a stretch big, and protects the rim like a 90s center, the game would probably crash. Victor Wembanyama is that glitch running on real hardware. For years, people talked about Victor Wembanyama's build and its possible issues. Too skinny, too fragile, too weird looking to hold up against 82 games of grown man contact. He was the ultimate, if he stays healthy, prospect, like everyone was just waiting for his body to break before the story could really begin. Then in his second season, it wasn't a rolled ankle or a stress fracture that stopped him.
Then all of a sudden, you're diagnosed with a blood clot. What was that moment like for you?
It was a blood clot. At 21 years old, Wemby wasn't just dealing with sprains and soreness. He was facing deep vein thrombosis in his shoulder, spending his spring in hospitals and on blood thinners, with doctors explaining that if this ever came back, it could end everything. That's the same kind of condition that forced Chris Bosh to walk away from the game in his early 30s. Most players come out of something like that more cautious. Wemby came out of it more ruthless. He treated that offseason like a hard reset. Instead of just adding NBA weight, he attacked his body with intention, targeted strength work, rebuilding how he moves, and slowly pushing his frame from the low 220s on draft night toward the 240 range. You can see the difference immediately in how he plays through contact. The best example is that clip against Luke Cornett. A 7'5" Wembanyama catches steam at the foul line, explodes into the chest of a 7'2", 250-pound center, and sends him stumbling backward while Wemby powers through for a two-handed dunk. A year earlier, he's the one absorbing that hit. Now he's delivering it. The league expected a unicorn. What they got after that scare was a unicorn that decided to become a nightmare for opposing teams.
That you would not be able to play again? in those 5 minutes?
Yes, but it wasn't justified.
After the blood clot, Wembanyama didn't just go back to normal training. He overhauled his relationship with his own body. His reset started in one of the least NBA-looking places imaginable, a Shaolin temple in China where he leaned into meditation, kung fu forms, balance and breath work, disciplines built around feeling every inch of your body and every shift in your center of gravity. Once he felt in control again, the tone of his summer flipped from calm to violent. Back in the basketball world, he took on the kind of workload that would break most players, from brutal conditioning to a drill that became the perfect symbol. Wemby guarding every teammate in the gym, one after another, with no breaks, then sprinting to the other end to do it all over again. While everyone else caught their breath between reps, he was the only one who never left the fire. On top of that, he went one-on-one with Hall of Fame bigs like Hakeem Olajuwon and Kevin Garnett, absorbing footwork, angles, and mindset from two of the most ruthless interior defenders and competitors the game has ever seen. When he said what he did this summer was world-class and that he chose something much more violent to get his body back, it wasn't just talk. The first real glimpse of what all that work did to Wembanyama's game.
Now it's Kelvin spinning. No, Wembanyama the putback for 2.
Put up 9 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists, and 3 blocks on perfect shooting. 3 for 3 from the field, 1 for 1 from 3, 2 for 2 at the line. The box score looks crazy, but the eye test is even better. He wasn't just towering over non-NBA competition. He was running the offense like a wing, bringing the ball up, calling his own actions, and spraying passes all over the floor. That game made one thing obvious. His role has shifted. The version of Wemby that once spammed pull-up threes is getting replaced by a 7'5" primary creator who attacks downhill, draws a crowd, and kicks out early, closer to a Kevin Durant-style perimeter engine than an Anthony Davis-type big. You can see it in his shot profile. Last season, there were nights where he launched 10, 12, even 15 threes just trying to force the issue. Now you're seeing games where he only takes 1 or 2 from deep because he's more focused on creating advantages than hunting shots. His movement without the ball reflects that shift too. A big focus of his summer was relocation, passing, flowing to open space, and letting his gravity bend defenses so teammates get easier looks instead of him standing still and soaking up every possession. Layer that onto his production, around 24 points, 11 rebounds, nearly 3 assists, and close to 4 blocks per game this season, with roughly league average to above average efficiency from 3 on high volume. Defenses are built on rules: who picks up the ball, who tags the roller, who helps at the rim. Wemby's new role breaks those rules because you're chasing a 7'5" primary creator on the perimeter who might also be the best shot blocker on the floor behind you. For Victor Wembanyama, defense isn't a scheme, it's a standard. He's already said it himself. If you want to be a part of this Spurs team, defense is non-negotiable. That hits different when it comes from your franchise player, the 7'5" guy everyone else is supposed to orbit around. It's not just coaches preaching effort from the sideline.
Crosses over on Thompson, drives in and lays it home.
Teammates talk about him the way veterans usually talk about legends. 2-a-days, early mornings, late nights, the same routine over and over again. He works so consistently that it almost becomes socially unacceptable to coast next to him. When your most talented player is also the one showing up first and leaving last, taking a night off stops feeling like an option. You see all of that in the numbers and in the film. As a young player, he's already having an elite defensive impact, leading the league in blocks in a season where he didn't even play every game, and anchoring a defense that looks ready to jump into the top tier as the roster matures around him. That all against Wemby drill he runs in practice shows up every night. He switches onto guards, slides with them on the perimeter, and then somehow still recovers to erase shots at the rim. He covers up blown rotations, late closeouts, and bad gambles because his range and timing let him delete plays that should be automatic points. What makes him terrifying isn't just that he protects the rim, it's that he protects your worst decisions then turns them into transition offense the other way. Even as early as his rookie year, he was on his way to greatness. In Toronto, he dropped 27 points, 14 rebounds, 10 blocks, 5 assists, and 2 steals in 29 minutes, becoming one of the only rookies ever to record a triple-double with blocks and the first player in years to pull off a 10-block triple-double at all. That same game also made him the first player in NBA history to record a triple-double with blocks and multiple made threes in a single night. There's also a specific kind of panic that sets in when teams play Wembanyama now, and the 2025-26 season has turned that fear into something real. In his first 3 games of the year, he opened with a 40-point, 15-rebound, 3-block night, followed it with 29 points and 11 rebounds with 9 blocks, and then kept stacking monster lines like it was routine. All of that is happening on top of the streaks and records. During this run, he pushed his block streak to 100 straight games, joining Patrick Ewing and Dikembe Mutombo as the only players ever to do it. But he's the only one doing it while also functioning as a top-tier perimeter scorer and playmaker. That's not just a development curve. That's a problem for coaches who realize the final form version of Wemby might still be years away. When you zoom out on everything we've talked about, it's pretty simple. There isn't another player alive who checks this many terrifying boxes at once. Physically, Wembanyama is still growing and getting stronger, but he's already putting up numbers and doing things on the floor that used to belong to 3 different players at once. He didn't just survive the blood clot scare. He came back from it with monk-level discipline, Shaolin training, and a brutal, violent regimen that made him more adaptable instead of more cautious. On the court, he's evolving from a tall scorer into a true point center, someone who can raise his team's floor possession by possession instead of just chasing viral peaks. Year 3 is usually when superstars stop hunting explosions and start controlling outcomes. And you can already see that in his patience, his reads, and how often he chooses the right play over the loud one. The scary part is that teams still haven't solved the rookie version that shattered records. Now they're facing a version that's stronger, more unselfish, more experimental, and more obsessed with defense. Right now, no one steps on the court and changes the geometry of the game like Victor Wembanyama. And if this still isn't his final form, the league isn't just unprepared, it's in trouble. If you're still here at the end of the video, drop your thoughts on Wemby in the comments. Is he already the scariest player in the league, or are we still just seeing the preview? If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and check out our other deep dives on the channel. We've got plenty more coming.